I want to start today with a question I've been asked more times in 30 years than any other question. Not which franchise should I buy, not what category is best right now, not what does the FDD actually tell me. The question underneath all of those questions, is this the right franchise for me? It comes in different forms. Sometimes it's direct. I'm considering buying this, but honestly, I don't know if I have what it takes. Sometimes it's disguised as a research question. What makes a successful franchise owner? Sometimes it shows up as hesitation at the moment when everything else has been answered and the decision is sitting right there waiting to be made. But it's always the same question, and it deserves a real answer. Let me tell you what 30 years of watching franchise owners succeed and fail has taught me about who actually does well in this business. It's not who you might expect. The boldest people in my experience are not the ones who build the most wealth. Boldness gets the first meeting, does not build the portfolio. The people with most capital are not the most successful automatically. Capital removes some constraints. It does not compensate for the wrong model or the wrong fit. The people with the most business experience are not guaranteed to outperform the ones that are newer to entrepreneurship. Experience in one context doesn't always transfer to another one. What actually predicts success, the pattern I've watched play out thousands of times, is preparation. The people who know their operational strengths before they look at a single brand, the people who have an honest picture of their financial position, not just what they have to invest, but their runway, their household requirements, the timeline between investment and income that their life needs. The people who know what they're building toward before they take their very first step. Those people outperform consistently, regardless of background, capital level, or industry experience. Preparation isn't a personality trait. It's a process. And it's a process anyone can run. The process starts with the fit. Not brand fit, not category fit, personal fit. Fit is the intersection of three things: your operational strengths, how you're actually wired to work, not how you would like to be, your financial profile, what you have to invest, what your runway looks like, and what your household genuinely needs from this business and on what timeline, and your life goals. What are you building specifically? And what level of Knauf's hierarchy are you targeting from day one? When a franchise model aligns with all three of those dimensions, that's fit. When it doesn't, no amount of enthusiasm for the brand will sustain you through the difficult early months. I want to say something about passion specifically, because the franchise industry talks about it constantly. I think sometimes that can do more harm than good. Follow your passion is not franchise advice. It's a bumper sticker. And we've seen it go well and we've seen it go bad. I've watched people buy beautiful brands they were genuinely excited about and struggle inside of them because the operational reality of running that business every day didn't match who they were. The staffing model required skills they didn't have. The customer interaction requirements drained them instead of energizing them. The ramp-up timeline didn't align with their financial position. Passion for the brand or the product didn't save any of them. And I've watched people build generational wealth inside of brands that nobody at a dinner party has ever heard of because the fit was right. The model matched their strengths. The unit economics aligned with their financial position. The scalability potential aligned with what they were actually trying to build. The fit sustained them through the hard months. Passion wouldn't have. Here's the process that I use with every person that sits across from me. 5 questions. I spend the entire first conversation on nothing else. Question 1. What does your ideal Tuesday look like? Not your ideal vacation or your ideal ordinary workday. Are you out in the field managing operations or behind a desk analyzing performance? Are you energized by managing people or drained by it? Are you a customer-facing person or back of the house person? Do you want to be present in the business every day or building a team that operates without you? These are not preference questions. They are operational reality questions. The answers tell me which franchise models are viable for you and which one will grind you down inside of 12 months. Question 2. What have you demonstrated that you are genuinely good at across your career? Not your title, your resume summary, your actual demonstrated strengths, the things that you have been consistently effective at across every job that you've ever held. Those are the skills that will make you competitive inside of a franchise system. Question 3. What does your household need this business to produce and when? Not what do you hope it produces. What does it have to produce for your life to work? The number on that timeline, that's a hard constraint. And while I don't make financial claims or earnings claims, I have to know what you're aiming for to try to figure out if you match the business you might be looking at. Then you can determine the financial fit. Any franchise model that cannot realistically meet it, based on the item 19, the franchisee validation, and honest financial modeling, is not the right model, regardless of how much you like the brand. Question 4. What are you actually building? A job replacement, a wealth vehicle, a portfolio enterprise, or something to hand down to your children? The answer determines everything that follows: the model, the category, the size, the timeline, the level of the hierarchy that you're targeting from day one. Question 5. What does your support system look like? Your spouse, your family, your closest advisors. Do they understand what you're building and why? Do they have a realistic picture of what the first 12 to 18 months looks like? The candidates who succeed have alignment at home before they sign anything. The ones who struggle often find that the business exposed a gap in that alignment that was already there. 5 questions. If you can answer all 5 clearly and honestly, the right franchise model becomes much more visible than you might expect. The Last Employee, The Rise of Ownership, the book that I just released, walks through this entire framework in Chapter 5. The FIT framework, the 5 questions and the diagnostic process I use to move from those answers to a category profile that actually fits who you are. But here's what I want to say about the book that I don't say enough. The framework is not just for franchise candidates. It's for anyone who is standing at the crossroads between building someone else's future and building their own. The employed professional who's feeling the ground shift, the corporate executive who watched the 4th reorganization at a company they work in and is finally asking the most serious questions. The veteran who wants the next chapter to belong to them. The educator who knows that they have one more chapter and wants it to count. The 5 questions work for all of them because fit the intersection of who you are and what you have and what you're building towards, is the foundation of every good ownership decision, regardless of where you're starting from. Is franchise ownership right for you? Run the 5 questions, answer them honestly, and if the answers point towards ownership, the map is waiting. The Last Employee, The Rise of Ownership, is currently on Amazon for $4.99 for a Kindle ebook. The conversation's free at myperfectfranchise.com. If you're at level 3 or level 4 in the book and thinking about what the portfolio looks like at an institutional exit, then come and see us at orcazee.com or DM me on LinkedIn. I'm George Knauf, franchise investment strategist, creator of Knauf's Hierarchy of Franchising, founder of Orca Franchising, and author of The Last Employee. This is Franchise Snack Season 2, Episode 13. Let's go.